for the drop. Gosh, Cactus Music World Headquarters. It's so good to be back here.
The Men in Black.
The Men in Black. That just means that's like, it's like the wait staff. You want them to look proper and just means we're going to serve you up something good.
None more black. None more black.
Do you have the list?
Yes. Let's kick it off.
Is there new music on the list?
There is new music
Mike, what's up?
on the list. I like the Happy Friday Eve wish. That is always appreciated.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about a book first. We got an event on Saturday. Of course, in-stores are back at the record store. And our good friend Bob Rosario has this new book. The cover's so great. It's the classic rock Bob Reader, selected interviews 1989 to 2023. And we're having a great event to celebrate the launch of it. He's our local writer, music scribe for the Houston Press. He also writes for Texas Music, The Chronicle.
This is a weighty
Creative Loafing. Yeah.
Do we call it a tome?
I would say that. I like it because the term reader kind of goes back to like the Trouser Press. And
Sure.
I like this book. You can pick it up anywhere and just start reading. This guy's interviewed everybody. He also wrote the Slipping into Darkness, The Story of War, the only book that's ever written about the band War.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great book. And he's responsible for the greatest days ever at Cactus Music because he brought Howard Roberts, the original guitar player from War, and his band, and they did a whole an hour set of War songs, blew the roof off the place.
That is crazy.
It's awesome. So anyways, this is a great book. Interviews with Peter Frampton and Don Felder and Joan Jett and Meatloaf. And
so what's he doing for the in-store? Just signing copies? Or
so we're going to do our good buddy Andrew Dansby. He's going to do a Q&A with him, and he's going to kind of read from the book. Yeah. So we'll have that. And then the one-time only classic rock all-stars of the Alan Oldies band with the Mighty Orcs sitting in are going to do a set.
That's going to be great.
Classic rock tunes from artists featured in the book.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun. And of course, Bob will sign books, but it's a great opportunity to support a local author and somebody who's been writing about music here in our city for over 30 years. It's going to be fun. Up right to Ronnie James Dio.
Right to it, man. Come on.
Talking to Ronnie
James
Dio.
Dio interview in here.
So this is Saturday. This Saturday at 3 p.m. So we hope to see you here. Complimentary St. Arnold beverages. No charge to get in the door. Nothing but a good time. Whatever you got going on, just cancel it.
Let's do it.
Record store. It's going to be fun.
I love it.
Okay, let's hit it back with some music. We got a bunch of great. It's fall. It's about to be the fall release schedule. We got a bunch of great records coming. Here comes the good stuff. First up is Mitski. Her brand new album, "The Land Is Hospitable and So Are We." Inhospitable and So Are We. This is the indie store exclusive colored vinyl with expanded packaging. What you need to know: this is her 7th album, and she has built a really substantial fan base over the last few years. She had a huge 2022. The Guardian pronounced her the best young songwriter in the world in 2022. She was nominated for an Oscar for This Is a Life feature, that was featured in the film Everything, Everywhere, All the Time.
I can't read any of the back cover, but it's very cool. Die-cut sleeve and embossed.
And it's embossed.
Gosh.
You can't go with just both.
Touching things like that.
What you need to know, she started out as a visual artist, super creative. I would love to see her live. It's very it's definitely informed by Bowie, but she's doing her own thing. Check her out. The 3 songs that she dropped that you can listen to right now. Fantastic. Really, really great.
Good stuff. Yeah. I like it as well. I love her voice. Kind of sparse arrangements to most of her songs. Not singer-songwriter-y vibe, but kind of, I don't know.
It's the records sound like a band,
I don't know.
band albums to me, but she's an individual artist. And we have kind of an unofficial recurring theme for the drop today on all the new releases, and it is welcome back.
Okay.
Welcome back. So let's say hello again to the Postal Service.
Yes.
This is Everything Will Change. This is the soundtrack of the film, the documentary that they made when they were touring. This is a unique band in that Ben Gibbard and company from
Death Cab
for Cutie. This band only made 1 studio album, and it is an iconic record of electronic pop.
Yep. It's really good.
It's masterful.
Yeah.
Really one of the first records I remember all that really coming together, and it connected with so many people. It came out in 2003 originally, and in 2013 they toured. They took the opportunity of the 10th anniversary to do a one-time tour, made the documentary. This is the soundtrack for it. Recorded in the Greek Theater. again, it's a cool. I was listening to it yesterday. Sounds great. If you like this band at all, this is a real treat. And said The Loser, I love it. Sub Pop calls their indie store exclusive colored vinyl variants Loser editions. So you can pick up your Loser edition at Cactus Music. And
that's a good one.
Check it out. If you're not familiar with the band, check it out, because if you listen to them, you will hear and know that that record's over 20 years old. You will realize that you've heard that their influence
a million times. Yeah.
Ton of records.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. This is good stuff.
Pleased to announce a new Daptone signing.
Yes.
Jalen Naganda.
This is good stuff.
Come Around and Love Me. This is a terrific record. He's really the hopeful new signing for the label. So if you don't know Daptone, that's Charles Bradley. That was Sharon Jones. Really the East Coast gold standard for modern soul.
Yep.
And this is a new artist they discovered, has a really unique voice, I think, instantly recognizable.
Classic fits in right with classic R&B and soul. Mostly sings in kind of this falsetto. Yeah. You know,
but it's a little gritty too.
It's a little gritty, but I mean, you know, it's not too far off from like an early Smokey Robinson or something, maybe.
Yeah. I think you nailed it. I think that's what it is. And so the guy that did the production and arrangements on the Charles Bradley records, which again, as good as it gets, he worked on this record, and it has that sound, and it is terrific. This guy's got a really bright future. If you love throwback soul, spin it.
Put this on and try to stump your music buddies. Like, hey, what year did this come out?
Yeah, absolutely. You could do it with that.
You know, the lost Motown tracks have been discovered.
Okay, this is really a unique record. This is the new Courtney Barnett album, and it is called End of the Day. And
love her.
Yes, and she recently had a documentary filmmaker. She has a very kind of unusual personal story, and it just kind of chronicled her life story. And so for the film, you know, I mean, a lot of films, documentaries, and musicians either feature music that was popular before, or they get someone to do the score or theme music.
Right.
She actually wrote 17 instrumental pieces for the film, and that's what this is. So I really love her. She's such a great guitar player, such a cool guitar player, and looking forward to spending some more time with this. But very different release for her, but one you got to check out.
Love it.
Okay.
Oh, those are people. I thought they were like blue bonnets.
Oh yeah,
I thought they were like blue bonnets, and no, those are actually.
It's a kooky cover, right?
Isn't it weird?
I'm kind of wondering if that's a still from the film or what it is.
I don't know what that is.
And they're like on a
It's like when you go up Niagara Falls and they give everybody the little slicker. You gotta wear the little slicker to kind of and then you get wet. Obviously, because it's Niagara Falls. It's very good.
An album cover's slicker than most.
Way to go.
Ooh, next in the welcome back. This is a big welcome back. This is the Rain Parade. Last Days of a Dying Sun. This is one of the greatest bands of what you would call the LA Paisley Underground, which you would associate with like the Dream Syndicate and even the Bangles. This is and Stephen Roback is really the primary member of this band. His brother is David Roback of the Mozzie Star, who
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Had huge success. This is their first album in 38 years. So I think they're setting a record there, right? That's I can't really remember anybody else that's taken that long.
Yeah, the welcome from the way back.
The way back.
We have another welcome back that's a couple of decades in the making. This is cool, man.
And so this is what you need to know. This is psychotic. I'm sorry, psychedelic. It might be psychotic.
Right.
Psychedelic, hypnotic, guitar affected music. I love it. I think it's really a terrific record. And if you like modern psychedelic stuff like those King Gizzard guys or Tame Impala, man,
this is going to be right up your alley.
This is where it comes from. This is
this
is the original Fountain, and it gets 4 stars. I give it 4 stars from Shindig magazine.
Okay,
you got the little Obi strip with a bunch of.
Isn't that cool?
They misspelled his name though, but Neil Halstead, who we're going to talk about later, gave it a great review in Uncut. 40 years after their debut masterpiece, there's Little Rain on the new Parade.
There you go.
They made one of my favorite albums of all time, Emergency Third Rail Power Trip.
Nice.
So good to have them back. Good to have them back.
Nice.
And now for something completely different.
Yes.
The Steep Canyon Rangers. These guys are back with a new album. This is in Asheville, North Carolina, Grammy Award-winning bluegrass group, which you would know from. They're the band that plays with Steve Martin when he does his banjo, when he does his bluegrass gigs. Terrific group. And this was produced by Daryl Scott, who's produced Robert Plant, the records with Alison Krauss, and who else did he work with? And Emmylou Harris.
That's a big roster right there.
Yeah. So they've got fans out there. South Texas.
I didn't
not really
love
big
it,
bluegrass.
but it's not my cup of tea.
I'm not a huge
that's
bluegrass
me.
guy.
That's just me. But wildly talented musicians.
Oh yeah.
These guys can just flat out
And
play.
this is my favorite bluegrass joke. Man, somebody told those guys they're getting paid by the note.
Nope.
Okay, next up, Allison Russell. This is the returner, and she's returning. The returner is returning after her 4-time Grammy-nominated album from 2 years ago, Outside Child. This album has been reviewed as a album of fierce joy. Is the review I read of it. I should have notated that to somebody. But anyways, cool record. She's a really kind of progressive female artist, and she has a mostly female backing group on this record. Check this out: Wendy and Lisa, Brandy Clark, Brandy Carlisle, and I'm not gonna say he's female, but boy, ladies sure love Hosier, and Hosier's on this record.
Wow, there you
and
go.
It's her last record. She's really kind of known for these, kind of more downbeat, thoughtful records. And this is kind of very, very upbeat, fun.
That sounds
fun
cool.
record.
I didn't get to this one. I didn't get to listen to that one.
And this next up, welcome back in a more kind of somber tone, but this is the first Sparklehorse record in many, many years, since 2010.
And it's good.
It is really
good.
It is. How did these things go unreleased for so long? I don't know. Sparklehorse is Mark Linkus.
Mark Linkus, kind of a one-man band with other players, obviously, but cool stuff. It's pop, but it's kind of experimental at times.
Yeah.
It's very adventurous. He takes a lot of chances, goes in a lot of different musical directions.
And there's always a lot of grittiness and noise. He does, one of my favorite things about music, like I'm always listening for who can balance like the atonal noisiness with the melody. And he does it. Yeah. He does it such a great job. He unfortunately died in 2010. The original session producer and Mark's brother prepared this record for release. And it is,
everything I heard is great.
it is wildly better than I even expected it to be.
Yeah.
It is really terrific.
See, I'd seen the name, but I wasn't even, and I can't even remember and tell you for sure that I heard the music before. But when I was, when you sent the list, I started listening, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, it immediately jumps out, right?
Yeah,
He's got
I was
that,
like, wow.
Like really kind of noisy guitar.
How
and his cool
have I
voice.
not heard this?
Check that out. Listen to his previous records. He
Yes.
was really supported by Radiohead and a bunch of other really cool, edgy artists. We miss him, but we're just glad he's got a new record. Once again, welcome back, Turnpike Troubadours.
Yeah.
And these guys, I mean, it is rare that somebody takes time off and comes back bigger than they were before. These guys were kind of pioneers of the whole Red Dirt.
It feels like
thing.
they've just been on tour forever, though.
Yeah, I mean, just tour and tour. They went on hiatus for making records in 2019, and this is the first record since then. And people just like flipped out. But I think this is the best batch of tunes that they've had, produced by Shooter Jennings. Everything is really kind of lined up for them. And A Cat in the Rain. I like the title.
Yeah, my friend Lana is like, she's obsessed with these guys.
They have some really hardcore fans. My son likes them. He had a couple of tunes were coming up in his queue that he had playing, and I was like, "Uh-oh, is that what I think?"
It's embossed.
It's embossed. Okay, good. Just making sure. And when those tunes would pop up, I'm like, who is this? This is really good, and it was them.
It's good
So
stuff, it's good
so
stuff.
check it out. You're looking for some new country music for the
Good
weekend.
stuff.
That's the way to go. All right, welcome back again.
Come on.
First album in 10 years for Sigur Rós, the Icelandic
Radiohead.
The Icelandic Radiohead, for lack of a better
That's
term.
not a. That's. I mean, a lot of people have said that it's not a fair comparison. They definitely have their own thing.
I love these guys.
It's
Love
Did you
them.
see that thing they did It was like a live from Lincoln Center or something, and they had all the strings, and it was crazy.
Yeah, so they're very
no. It wasn't Lincoln Center. I think it was in Iceland or somewhere, but it was killer.
I've seen them a couple of times, and it is.
I've never seen them live.
The shows were, they incorporate a lot of film and really unusual stuff. And, and there's been times where we see in the show, I'm like, what am I looking at? This is really out there.
Yeah.
I know everybody like runs to Radiohead to compare them, but man, there's a whole lot of Pink Floyd going on.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And, orchestrated. This is one of those bands. If you're an older music fan and you're trying to connect with modern artists and you love Pink Floyd, these guys are for you. And it's funny because check out the album cover. You kind of have the prism. It's prismatic, but on a some kind of
the
flag thing.
Reaching bold new heights, says the Wall Street Journal,
and recorded at Abbey Road. So, but this record is sonically amazing.
That's what they
sonically
do.
Amazing.
That's what they do.
In our welcome back.
Come on,
I say this for last because I know you love this band.
Absolutely,
right?
100%. Yeah.
Okay, these are the Shoegaze Pioneers. This is their 5th album.
Yeah.
From Slowdive, Neil Halstead and Company.
It's incredible.
It's their first since their self-titled 2017 release. I've listened to this all the way through like 5 times. I really, really dig it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fun playing like Spot the Pigeon with all the pedal effects on there.
Yeah.
And a great listen. I it's atmospheric. It's but it's edgy. And one thing I always think about like the shoegaze term is people kind of talk about that like it's like sad or morose, or that's why they're just like mopey. It's like, no, they're trying to figure out what pedal to step on next. That's why they're looking down.
Yes, there's all the activity is on the floor.
All the activity is on the floor. Probably even the bass player too, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure. That's
really cool record, and a band that has grown just enough but preserve their original thing. That Souvlaki record for me was a huge record. Like I love that record by them. And
what was was Pygmalion
that was the last one I think before they took a break. Really terrific record.
Yeah, for 20 years.
Yeah, super fun band. Good to have them back. Good to have them back.
Welcome back.
Okay, let's talk about our reissues for today. We're going like psychedelic, man. We're going like
there's a lot of man.
Yeah, Rocky Erickson and the Explosives. Even though this was recorded in 2007, this is recorded on Halloween 2. This is featuring our good buddies Kim King and Freddie Steady Kirch backing him up. Recorded in Buda, Texas, at like a historic hall there, and man, it's Rocky cranking out elevators tunes. And this is Live from the Bowery Ballroom.
Yeah.
In 2007. Sorry, I was looking at the
I saw that.
I didn't. As I'm saying it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
That doesn't.
But you get such great
tunes right.
as Creature with the Atom Brain, Don't Shake Me, Lucifer, Cold Night for Alligators. Nothing but weirdness here, and it's sonically it's great. And I guess they found video from it, so you get. You get a DVD in bonus DVD, with that performance in there, which
was recorded at the Oya Festival in Oslo, Norway.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. So Rocky fans, always good to have something new from him.
Get in there.
Get in there. That's going to be a fun one.
That's cool, man.
And kind of, I wanted to feature these 2 records together because they are kind of cut from the same cloth, and that you have that they found added material that had been out for briefly, but this is kind of the same thing with the Doors. They released this a few years ago. This live at the Matrix in 1967.
Jeez.
Yeah, this is a big old box set, of course, available on CD too, as with everything we're talking about here. But this came out as really kind of a lo-fi thing that I think they kind of just put it out as like, okay, here it is for true fans, but maybe it doesn't sound so good. They found a much better tape source for this, and now it's like a legit release. That's why you're seeing this again, and really a band at the peak of their powers at a venue that they're closely associated with. And if you love them, this is what it is.
This is one for you.
Yeah, this is one for you. It comes with a bonus 7-inch in it, but all the content is on what's this 5-night engagement in March 1967. San Francisco.
There's a very strange quote, I think, from John, a random quote from John Densmore. We were on the lip of great success and we didn't know it. Just on the lip.
On the lip. On the lips. Okay, so that closes our
Yes.
Super fun reissue part of the program. And we got a couple of jazz reissues to talk about, as we often do.
Because we have to help your jazz. We have to help your jazz collection.
Well, you might think differently of this if you listen to these, because we are going to the fringes on these two.
All right, pushing the boundaries
straight for the
to the event horizon.
Yes, so we're going to talk about a couple of extreme free jazz records.
Oh yes, now I see.
Yeah, coming out at once. These are part of the Verve by Request series. These are pressed at Third Man in Detroit.
Yeah,
super high quality 180 gram audiophile pressings, and we're going to kick it off with Sigur Rós.
Yeah, man.
Space is the place. And I listened to this. This record's really known for this title track. That's like this chanting, moody piece. Listen to that this morning, man. If your day is kicking off, listen to "Space Is the Place."
Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting day. That's what I got to say about it.
Yeah, man.
So if you don't know, Sigur Rós, like one of the pioneers of freeform jazz and avant-garde craziness, cool. He was from
one of a kind,
from Uranus, from outer space, and
one of a kind.
I think the cover kind of. Oh, I didn't notice the gatefold is like. It's like if you fold it, it's like his whole body launching into. He was cool, incredible pianist. Always flew in a bunch of different kind of music into what he was doing, and you're looking to kind of push the boundaries of what you like. And I think it's the cool thing about both of these guys is it's relatable to rock music, and we talked about that last week. Is like the mid '60s free jazz movement. Man, it was directly. Yeah, it was influencing psychedelic rock, and psychedelic rock was influencing free jazz stuff. It's just kind of funny how that went around. Okay, next up in the series, Albert Ayler. This is Love Cry. How about that cover, man? Is that like the coolest cover? That's pretty serious. Yeah, and this is a cover that's what the album sounds like. If you're looking at that cover, that is what it sounds like.
Come on.
This is a kooky record, man. Odd rhythms and really kind of brass band flourishes in there. The rhythm section is cool. This is the last record he made with his brother David, but this is like the peak of mid '60s free jazz, and he is really kind of a divisive figure. He's one of those people either love it or
can't stand it.
Can't stand it. But there you go.
All right.
Two masterpieces of the genre for you to check out.
Right along.
Okay, time for the sound effects. We're opening the vinyl vault.
Oh, is it time for the vinyl vault?
It's my pick.
Yes, it is.
And this is a dual. I've been wanting to do this. This is a dual vinyl vault because we're gonna get academic and talk about one of my favorite records.
This is the stuff that makes me happy.
Okay, so this is.
Pay attention.
This is Van Morrison's St. Dominic's Preview. This is my favorite Van Morrison record.
Okay.
A lot of people got a lot of favorite Van Morrison records, but he was like on a tear. He pretty much made 6 brilliant records in a row. This one happens to be my favorite. This is 1972. Man, there were a bunch of good records made in 1972. This one features some of my very favorite songs by him. This is Jackie Wilson said is the big hit, but it's also got Listen to the Lion. The title track, St. Dominic's Preview, is brilliant. Almost Independence Day is great. Follows that kind of loose, just going where the music goes kind of thing, like Astral Weeks did. Astral Weeks and Moondance are obviously, in Tupelo Honey, are the masterpieces.
Sure.
Bombs on too.
Yeah.
But this one's my favorite.
Okay.
But what I want to talk about is I want to kind of explain something to our viewers out there, is that the concept of the white label promo. I get people ask me about that at the store all the time.
Right.
Like, why is so? Let's pull that one out and show you the label. So this is the classic Warner Brothers olive green record label. That's like Black
We've
Sabbath,
seen it before.
all the
we've seen
1972
it.
looks great. First pressing of that. So then this is, and you wouldn't be able to tell from the cover.
No, they're identical.
What's going on? Oh, why is that one white? So this one, you can see.
I've never seen that.
It says promotion not for sale at the top.
Oh.
And so this was the copy that they would send to either record stores or radio stations.
Yeah.
And it's kind of lost now, with every, digital music and everybody, there's a disconnect there with just kind of how people had to work with records in specific DJs on the radio. So DJs on the radio would have to be concerned with, hey, at what point, how many seconds in does the guy start singing?
Okay.
At the end of the song, how long does it go on the outro? Well, the record company wouldn't supply you with that stuff. The programmer would actually have to listen to these tracks to figure out, like, okay, you can talk in the first 8 seconds of Jackie Wilson said, or there's a big, don't talk over the guitar solo here. Or, you know, at the end,
had to figure it out.
And they would write like hard stop, means the song ends like bump, 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 and just ends, or if it fades out. Well, you couldn't write that for the DJ on that dark green label, right? Because the DJ would be certainly probably in a very dark radio studio. You're looking at, you can't figure out. So what they would do is they would press a special batch of records with these white labels just for the purpose of radio programmers and DJs being able to write their notes, like, don't play this track, or don't talk. Van's going to start singing 8 seconds in. So you got 8 seconds to talk before Van Morrison starts saying. And that's the whole reason the white label promo exists.
That's amazing.
And so they would generally, like a record like this, they probably first run all around the country. They would probably press 50, 60, 100,000 records, in that first, to move that first batch in different parts of the country. But the white label's generally regarded as, it's like a first edition book. That's the first thing that they had to do, because they got to get it to radio, to play it before, and FM radio too. Like, they would, prior to this, they would send 7-inch singles, to AM radio, but FM was
1972.
The LP rules. So they would press up a special batch of these records with this white label to send to radio stations.
That's nuts.
And presumably to record stores too. In white label,
never knew that.
White label records are very, very collectible. Some people collect, like, that's like their whole thing. And they're kind of hard to come by classic bands. I mean, like a Black Sabbath white label promo can be worth hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
That's fantastic.
But anyways, that's kind of, I had people ask me about it all the time, so I thought it was a good thing to cover on the drop.
For the vinyl vault.
Education. So there you go.
Education.
There we got it.
I love that, man. I had no idea. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. You'll see them from time to time. And, some of the labels would actually they wouldn't change the label. They figured out it was cheaper to put what they would call a timing strip.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks because it would cover up the whole bottom portion of the record with this, like, sticker.
Oh, it was this physically on the jacket. Wow.
Where the DJs could write the notes. Programmers could write their notes. But
that's crazy.
Anyways, that's the story of the white label promo, and one of my favorite Van Morrison records, which you should go check out.
These are great when you do this. It's amazing, but it just makes next week pick very hard for me.
Come on.
Because then I'm like, God, what am I going to... I have an idea.
You're always talking from your heart. That's all.
Yes, man. Yes. It's like the stuff that just... I gotta toughen myself up and go into that garage and find that box of CDs.
You, man.
Because there's some stuff in there that I'm telling you.
Vinyl Vault is always fun, right? Always.
Were you? I'm a bad impulsive music buyer. I would hear one song and I'd be like, yes,
I'm getting it.
And I'd run and get it. And maybe it was the only good song on the album, or it wasn't as good as I thought it was when I heard it. And then I was stuck with this album. So I've got tons of stuff. The majority of my record collection is that.
Did you ever do this? Like, you buy it, impulsive buy at the store. Cause I'd always buy like 3 things. I'd buy like one new release and then maybe a cutout or maybe a catalog. I'd buy like 3 records. And then sometimes the new release would be totally, like you're saying, just like, I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
And you get home, you're like,
no.
And you see your buddies like, hey, just goes, hey, you like this?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, I wouldn't buy that. I did. All right, man. So lots of cool stuff. One more time, plug for the in-store performance. Hit it.
Saturday, 3 p.m. We celebrate the release of the classic Bob Rock Reader with Bob Rosario, Alan Oldies Band, featuring special guest, the Mighty Orc, cranking out some classic rock tunes as featured by the artists in the book, and complimentary beverages from the St. Arnold Brewing Company.
Come on down.
Hope to see you here.
Here's some rock and roll, and here's some rock and roll tales. All right, guys, that does it for us. We will see you next week, 12:30 for The Drop. Peace. We're out.